With us now, Morgan Toney. Welcome, Morgan.
Hey, thank you so much, Nicole.
Now, we're filming this here in Fredericton
Right.
as part of the 2022 East Coast Music Awards. It was a big night for you last night.
It was a huge night for me.
Winner of the Indigenous Artist of the Year, which is a massive category, probably especially meaningful.
It was really meaningful. To be Indigenous and to just get on that stage, to accept an award, and to perform our great music that we have, it was a meaningful night and it was a beautiful moment.
So now, that experience being on stage, I found it. You had so much energy in it, and is that what it's like all the time at your shows? Because that was like, woo! It was adrenaline. It was wild.
There's a few songs that we have off the first record, First Flight, where it's very energetic. But there's also songs that are really, relaxed. But it really depends on the message that we're trying to send. So the song that we played at the East Coast Music Awards was called the Gojwa. And the Gojwa is a traditional Mi'kmaq song that's been played here for 500 years or more. And the language, although it is Mi'kmaq, it is old Mi'kmaq. So language speakers today who are fluent in the language might not know what the words mean in that song because our language has evolved from 500 years ago. So there's a dance associated with that. And my good friend Keith Mullins does a great impression of the dance.
No, Keith does not.
But anyways, it's a beautiful dance. And what I heard from an elder is that the dance represents a dog or a rabbit with a broken foot. So if you ever watched the video, like our music video, we got 3 of the best Gojo dancers in Eskasoni, award-winning Gojo dancers. And if you notice that when they're dancing, it's almost like they're limping. So they're representing that dog or that rabbit. And that's a really high energetic song. And there's a couple songs like that. But Gojo is one of our favorite songs to play because of its energy, and we thought it was the perfect pick for the East Coast Music Awards.
Now, for somebody who you say that song is 500 years old, but your interpretation of it, your spin of it is not. You have this incredible fusion. How do you describe that for somebody who has yet to hear it, but after they watch this, they're going to go, I have to look up Morgan Toney and see what this is all about? Right.
So this fusion is something that me and Keith Mullins created, and we didn't even know that we created something. It was after we recorded the Gojwa, and we said, there's a fusion here. I told him that, Keith, there's a fusion here. And he was like, what do you mean? It's like, we got the Mi'kmaq songs of Cape Breton. We got the Mi'kmaq teachings of our elders. We also have the Celtic sounds of Cape Breton. And we came up with a name for it. It is called Mi'kmaltic, which is a genre that we created. So you got the Mi'kmaq and Celtic going together and blending this beautiful music, which is Mi'kmaltic.
I love that. That's a great hybrid word.
Yeah.
To really encapsulate what it is that I experienced.
Well, let me tell you something. When I first started playing the fiddle 3 years ago, I would be playing just the fiddle only. I wouldn't be singing because I wasn't comfortable singing yet. So I would just be playing fiddle at these shows, and that's it. And then I started, finding myself spiritually and culturally when I went to Wamakuk First Nation. And the elders there, helped me find myself and to connect with the land and to connect with the birds and the trees and the air. So after I was on that spiritual journey, I wanted to really learn the Mi'kmaq songs and learn the Mi'kmaq prayers and to just appreciate everything that the Creator laid out for us. So I started to sing songs. I sang the Mi'kmaq Honor Song and songs that have been sung for a very long time. And then I would be getting performance offers just for singing. And then that kind of, helped me build courage to sing. And how it all happened is I was playing with somebody in a little community where I'm from called Wagamah at Pancake Night, which is it's a night in February where the community comes together and makes pancakes. And, we have this thing called Forson's cake. It's like back then, my dad told me that the story is that the bread makers of the community would go to the stores and sell their bread for 4 cents. So it's called 4 cents cake. Oh. So they had the 4 cents cake and they also got the pancakes going. So we were doing a thing that night, and my piano player could not make the show, and this was like a day before. And I just found out about Keith the day before that. So I asked him, say, Keith, would you like to perform with me tomorrow? And we didn't really know each other. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. And that was when I was on my spiritual journey, like I said, and I was singing a bit. And I had this really rough version of the Gojwa in my head, and I told Keith, we got to try this out. So I gave him the key of the song, and we did it. And then he looked at me after we performed it with a very serious face. I got to record that. And then we recorded it. The rest is history. We just performed at the East Coast Music Awards, and we're only going up from here.
Would you possibly maybe suggest that your spiritual journey and has opened you up to creative inspiration and the ability to follow your intuition?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just trust in yourself and to come out of your comfort zone, because it can open so many doors. Like I never thought I would be performing at the East Coast Music Awards. Maybe someday, I thought to myself. But I only started playing the fiddle 3 years ago because I just had this passion to learn, and I fell in love with the sound and the style of Cape Breton. And after I learned a few songs, I would practice like 4 or 5 hours a day, the whole week. And then, it was hard. It required a lot of patience. There was a lot of frustration because this is the most difficult instrument to learn. And it was, but I wanted to learn it. And a thing that really motivated me was finding out stories about family members who played the fiddle. Like my great-grandfather played the fiddle, and I didn't find it out until I started playing. And then I found out 3 of my late great-uncles played the fiddle too. So there's something there that's been missing for a very long time, and I helped to make that bridge again. And the community is really proud of me, and I'm proud to be from Wangama First Nation, and also Wamacook First Nation too, because there's a lot of support. And there's a lot of support in the Mi'kmaq communities, and there's a lot of support in the entire Mi'kmaq Nation. So, just follow your heart, and you never know what could happen.
And here's an opportunity for you to show everyone what it is to perform your own brand of music. What song are you going to play?
We're going to play a song called Imsit Nogama. And Imsit Nogama in English translates to all of my relations. So the meaning behind that is this. In some way, we are all connected. On some spiritual level, we are all connected. And we have to respect Mother Earth. And we have been treating Mother Earth so poorly in the last decade, even further than that. So it is our time, to take care of her, because she's been taking good care of us. So it's just a reminder.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you, Morgan Toney.
Thank you, Nicole.
To the Great Spirit for guidance to walk in harmony, to conquer our enemies. The greatest ones are within you see. Let my soul take in the beauty of the day and the sun going down. So when my life is at its end, I may leave with this message to sing. Him sitting over my, for all the life, the trees, the air. Him sitting over my, this is how we end our prayer. Him sitting over my, for all the life, the trees, the air. Him sitting over my, this is how we end our prayer. Wish you the very best in everything. Him sitting over my, for all the life, the trees, the air. Him sitting over my, this is how we end our prayer. Him sitting over my, for all the life, the trees, the air. Him sitting over my, this is how we end our prayer. Way high, hey high, hey ho. Way high, hey high, hey ho. Way high, hey high, hey ho.
With us now, 180, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, East Coast Music Awards 2022,
Yeah.
you were chosen, selected winner of the Rap Hip Hop Recording of the Year. That was a big moment. I was in the crowd when
Right.
you were on stage. Tell us what that was like.
Well, the actual immediate moment was very difficult because there was no short way to get to the podium to receive the award. So by the time I got there, I had no oxygen left. But yeah, other than that, it was a great experience. I think the highlight part for me, the part that mattered the most to me, that was really exciting, was that I won the Rap Hip Hop award, but it was handed to me by Maestro Fresh West, the godfather of Canadian hip hop. You know, I still remember as a kid trying to do moves that he was doing on videos and hurting myself. So yeah, that was a really, really cool, exciting moment for me, you know, like, because you don't even dream of that when you're a kid, right? Of that person, like, and he was Maestro Fresh West from Toronto.
Right, let your backbone slide.
He's not gonna do ECMAs. Why would he be at ECMAs?
Right.
He's Maestro Fresh West from Toronto. So yeah, that was a really cool moment for me, and you know, I got to feel like a kid for a second. I really enjoyed that.
Since 2014, you have released 5 albums.
Yeah.
That is an impressive run of material. All right, does that mean that you're working constantly on music, like it's just flowing all the time?
No, it doesn't. I firmly believe that you should never force music, right? And so basically, even album releases, like my album releases are very sporadic. Like, you know, the first 3 were one every year, and then it went 2 years, and so on, because I refuse to force it. I think any forced art isn't going to be as good as it could be. That's the first part. The other part is, you know, when you're forcing and you're pushing, that's usually when we make bad decisions. That's anything in life, right?
Right.
When you're rushing or forcing, you make bad decisions. So even setting dates for albums, I don't do it until there's so many songs done, because I don't know if I'm going to be in the studio for the next 2 weeks, because if I don't feel a drive to go do it, I just won't. And I mean, it's also, I mean, that can't work for everybody, but you know, if you have the ability to be able to do that and still, you know, take care of your family without that, then I'm blessed that way. I do have that luxury. I have a job, you know, that takes care of me, and so I can make music only when I enjoy to,
Right.
or because I enjoy it, you know? And so I think that right now, because of that transition for me, I think right now I'm making the best music I've made, like the stuff I'm working on now and all of that. But on top of that, the stuff that I've done before still means so much to me because I know it wasn't rushed. It wasn't anything like that. It was actually genuinely from my heart.
Right.
It was what I was feeling then, and that's how it came out.
So I'm going to read from my notes.
Yeah.
Now you have channeled the what I'm going to describe based on what my research tells me, your ministry of hope, your message of hope.
Yeah.
It seems like you really use a lot of your energy and your time to invest in people who are often maybe lost in plain sight. For somebody who is unfamiliar with what 180 does outside of music,
Yeah.
explain that.
Well, the music is, I mean, anything I do is just it's a byproduct of the big picture, right? And so for myself, it's an obligation of mine. I have to. It's not optional. I have to be there for people. I have to help people. I have to support people. I mean, 12 years ago, I'm on a suicide bed with a heavy addiction myself, and people pouring into me. And now we're sitting in this chair, and I'm talking to you on a camera, having conversations. I think that if I didn't have that attitude with people and with life after that, I would really, I don't know the right word, but it wouldn't make me a good person, I don't think, for me, if that wasn't how I kind of returned that. And even going back to my 2014 album, Fresh IE from Winnipeg produced that album for me. And when I asked him how much it was going to cost me, he told me do it for someone else. Right? So I don't really have a choice on that topic. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love being able to support people, and I love that I have a platform and a name that it matters to people when I come around and visit them or I'm there. But yeah, I think that whether it was music or something else, I was going to have to make sure that that was part of it because it's the only reason I'm here. So
That's probably why your music has such meaning for people, because it's not just for giggles, right? There's passion and integrity to the product that you are offering up.
Yeah, I don't think I'm an entertainer. You know, I think that the product entertains, you know, and I think that I do believe in putting on a good show. People pay to see you, you know, so do your job, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't go into the studio to entertain people. That's not what it's about. There's a message there, and it does mean something, and that's what's important. We got to talk about some stuff that we don't talk about, so let's do it here.
Yeah, and you're not afraid.
Nope.
At all. You're fearless in your topics and in your content. And do you get pushback from not necessarily people who don't matter, but people who do matter that say, you know, are people going to be ready for this message? Yeah,
no, the people that do matter as far as that conversation goes, at this point they trust me. They know my heart. And that's kind of in our circle, that's kind of the conversation we have. Listen, if your heart's in the right place, we'll live with the decision you made.
Right.
You know, because at least we know where it was coming from. We can clean that up because it was coming from the right place, you know?
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't get a lot of pushback. Sometimes I have to explain. Like,
right.
You know, why'd you say that? Right? Because that one somebody's going to say something to you, you know, and are you prepared for that? And that's usually what it is. It's more of are you prepared for that conversation?
Yeah.
Rather than, should you do it? It's never a should you do it thing. Like, because if that's what you felt was on your heart that day, that's what you were supposed to write. That's what art is to me, right? It's more or less.
This song that you're going to perform for us, tell us about it.
So this song is called "I Guess It's Complicated." It won a Music New Brunswick Award in 2021. It's a very, very important song to me. It's the one I performed at the ECMAs for that, and song means a lot. It encompasses what happened when after George Floyd passed away and all the stuff that was going on, and I found myself in mourning, but also because of the type of music I do, having to have the conversation over and over and over and over again with people. And I was getting tired of it, and I was struggling myself, trying to find time to actually grieve this thing myself. And so I just figured, you know, what's the best way to talk to a lot of people at one time? You either make a song or get on TV, right? So it just so happened both things are happening now because of the song. And but I do. It was a song that I wrote basically to get stuff off of my chest, and it was really to go to the immediate people who I was talking to. That's all it was. It was just I got to put this song up because I can't keep having this conversation, right? And so that's what I did. But then started gaining some traction because it really was. What I realized was in that song, and you'll hear it, I didn't attack anybody, but I also called all of us to account. I'm part of the church community and faith community, and I called that to account. You know, I believe there's good policing and bad policing, and I called that to account. And all of that happened in that song. But the most important piece was there's a section through the first verse where I actually take you through a checklist. What I do before I leave my house every day to, you know, feel safe and feel comfortable out in the community. So yeah, it's a very important song to me in that way. And but it also opened doors for communication and conversation with people because they picked up on, okay, now I get it. It's a conversation. Now we're talking, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're very excited and honored
Thank you.
to have you share this story and music with us. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Good
Thanks
luck,
so much.
180.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the day started out like most did. Do my devotion, grab my phone and see what's posted. Notice my calendar says my day is full, but it's commission week, so hopefully I'm paid in full. I got some clients to see and deadlines to meet, and can't forget I gotta hit the studio at 3. Fresh sent me some heat, I said I'd get back. He knows I only brought my B game on that last track. I'll set out, let's get the day going. Already know I'll never reap if I ain't out sowing. Phone rings, my wife asked if I could pick up some food, but I ain't bothered, I'm supposed to cook and ain't in the mood. My neighborhood is kinda nice, I know I'll stick out, so I got a checklist I follow before I exit the house. I told my wife where I be, check, got my ID check. My pants are tight enough to not look like a threat check. Yesterday was pretty tough, better not show it. Always be smiling, even though you're nice, they won't know it. Slow yourself so you speak clear. Give yourself enough time so you ain't gotta rush while you're in there. I think I'm ready, let's get out on the road. Make sure your hoodie has a logo, man, it's probably cold. Grab your phone and your keys, put your hat on straight and say a prayer. You make it home safe today. Now this is just a snapshot of what you don't see. This is what I do on the regular to just be. I ain't trying to do nothing, man. Just take on the day, but my anxiety will likely just get in the way. I know you say it ain't that bad, I promise it is. And George Floyd ain't really new to us, the video is. I guess it freaks you out a little that our stories are real, but if you're angry now, imagine how we must feel. Yeah. I'm crying, I hope you hear my heart. We just want to be heard, and if you're curious, that's where you should start. You say you want to love like Jesus did. Well, I don't know who you worship, cause I know Jesus wouldn't love these injustices. Now, I ain't asking you to hate yours, just don't hate mine. Don't blow me off, I'm telling you that I'm not fine. You want to know how to help, just listen. Ask about experiences and just listen. Don't tell me all lives matter, cause I got video footage that says that mine ain't worth the same as the next batter. Call racism, racism, right there. They need to know where you stand, man, so be clear. Now when you stand up, know you will stand out. And they gon' try to make you quiet till it's fanned out. You think it's not systemic, it is. You might not change it for your parents, but you can for your kids. Now on the topic of policing, let's get this straight. Please know that there's a difference between fear and hate. I don't hate you, I have cause to be cautious. Maybe it's not you, true, but I'm still counting up losses. A few bad apples can kill a whole pie. Ain't saying all y'all bad, but yet I still cry. An innocent minorities seem to still die. How can you see us as humans if you just won't try? To the good ones out there, I apologize. I hope the labels you're getting will get you energized to make the changes that we need to see. I know you're hurting too, but you can do much more than me. Now to the church, don't hide behind your diverse seats, cause we ain't dying in your buildings, we're out in these streets. Now if you know, then you can do better. But there's so much more, and I couldn't fit into this one letter. I guess it's complicated.